Ah, yeah. We made it, guys. Welcome back. The Struggle is Meal, episode 6, the season finale, and we took it to the woods. No electricity, no running water, no stoves, but you know what? We got an instant grill, and that instantly made me hungry. So let's get it. We picked up a few things at Ocean State Job Lot. We got ourselves a little cast iron skillet. It was about $3.99, not bad on the price. We got a little pot, we got a little pan, a little something to just, did a little, yeah, that's not actually going to happen, but you get the idea. And, I'll take you over to the cooler where we stashed everything we'll need to survive in the woods for an entire day and a half if needed. All right, there's beer. That's not really needed, but we got ourselves some Beyond sausage, some Beyond burgers, and I think for this day we're going to use some Beyond sausage. And shout out to my peeps over at Just Egg because we're about to fuck it up. Stay tuned. First, we got to set up this instant grill, and that's pretty easy. Once you got yourself a legit and legal fire pit, you're going to set it and pretty much forget it. But first, you're going to need to light it. I suggest getting either like one of those super long neck lighters or one of these things where the matches are like super thick. They're called instant grill starters. And once you get your grill going, you just let that fire run for a bit, because if you know anything about grilling, that fire needs to go down and those coal need to just be what it is that's producing the heat. So use this time wisely like I did. Well, I pretty much drank mostly during this time, but we did get everything prepped, so that's what you're about to see. And you're also going to probably make sure to have all these items on the screen if you're going to go camping, because you'll need it all. You're welcome. Alrighty, so my sous chef Jazzy's going to bust out these sausage real quick. So all you need is one really if you're doing breakfast, if you're not a greedy bastard. And that's what we did. We took one and we cut it into 6 pieces. And then we grabbed some of the pre-cut veggies that we got at one of the markets on our way in. And it was pretty smart to get that because it saves you some time. So we grabbed a few peppers, just cut them quickly into fourths. Nothing crazy. We're doing a quick breakfast here. It's like some Southwestern style. Take your onions, chop them up real nice. Once you do that, also bug spray, super important. You'll need bug spray. The bugs are wild, aren't they? But we're a G. Take a shot. Keep it pushing because we're cooking. We're in the woods. It's what you deal with in the woods. That and shitting in porta potties. Oh, and product shots. Nice. Everything is chopped and prepped and ready to hit the grill. Thank you, Jazzy. Go put on some bug spray. And I'm going to grab the seasoning that we picked up. Some Italian seasoning, nothing too crazy. And I actually found this Kingsford garlic and herbs all-purpose seasoning, rustic Tuscan style. So we're going to pop that on and see how that's hitting. Looks like we're just about ready with the fire there. It's just about died down and the coal looks like it's hot enough to just hold its own. I figured before I throw anything on the grill, let's take a quick tour of our stay. So it was a pretty dope yurt in the deepest of the woods in New Hampshire, about 30 minutes from Vermont, and no service whatsoever if you have T-Mobile, just a heads up. Inside was pretty spacious. You could fit about 10 people in there comfortably, like standing, and maybe you could sleep about 4, 6 if you really want to squeeze it. But as you can see, there's an open futon bed right there, a whole table there. You have yourself a stove that I didn't want to use because I'm not with the shits in there. A few seating arrangements and also a little cabinet, and enough space for our belongings as well. And I gotta admit, that sunroof was pretty amazing in the day and at night. All right, back to it. Let's go. All right, bug spray, people. Important. All right, spin around with me here, and we'll take a sip of our brew. I actually left the pots and the pans out in the sun for about 30 minutes or so because I wanted them to get hot. It was about 87 degrees, and I figured why not? And it kind of worked out because they were already pretty much ready to go once I threw it on the grill. Now you want to grab yourself one of the most important factors, olive oil. I'm not trying to throw anything on a hot pot, pan, grill, skillet, anything without some goddamn oil. And you probably should want to do the same. So we'll hit that real quick before we grab our ingredients, and we're going to throw them right on the cast iron skillet. This is all before the egg gets going. All right, so you'll just first add your vegetables. I mean, it's not really first or last thing because when you think about it, it's all vegetables, including these sausages. So it doesn't really matter what goes in first. Just cook it all. Make sure it's thoroughly is also like a not necessary word because it's vegetables. It's also hot as shit. I don't know if you noticed how hot it is, but did you see my face like 5 seconds ago? Jeez. We'll let that cook up for a second. You might want to add some more oil like I did. All sexy like. Yeah. And I know you want to hear it, so let's hear it. The sizzle, so you know this instant grill works. hit the seasoning at the same time. That rustic shit better hit. I'm pretty sure it's gonna hit. And that egg is just waiting. You see how it says just? It's like, just cook me. So that's what I did. I just cooked it. Pop it in there and you scramble it as you go. And believe it or not, the ingredients...
Surprise, motherfucker.
Plants. So I'm just literally just making a bunch of different plants right now and putting it on a plate, and I'm gonna stuff my face with plants. Can't go wrong with that. And the best part about these eggs, what I love the most is that it doesn't take much instruction. It literally says on the back, directions, scramble like an egg. If you fuck that up, just stop watching all my videos. All right, look at that. Scrambled and good to go. We added some buns on the grill, and I added a mental note to myself that in the future I will put foil down first because, yeah, you might get a little bit of dusty char on your bread, and that definitely happened. But we were cool. We're in the woods, and we figured that we were going to thug it out no matter what, and that's what thugs do. So we start to plate everything real quick. I think it only took about, in total, maybe about 30-40 minutes for this entire dish to come together. So, oh no, we lost the pepper. That was tragic when it was happening during recording, but we got over it pretty quickly. Look at that. That's a quick breakfast right there. Nothing crazy. Did it without a stove. We did it without a kitchen. We did it without running water. We did it without mostly anything that most people would think they need. We grabbed some yogurt, vegan yogurt, and I added the nuts from the yogurt to it. I took the yogurt and sandwich bagged it and turned that into a little squirt container because this was like a coconut flavored yogurt, and I figured why not add some coconut and nuts to the southwestern style breakfast in the woods with our toast and bang out a delicious breakfast together. And I mean, it's yogurt, right? Come on, get off my back. Pay attention to that. You got yourself some scrambled eggs with Beyond Meat sausage and grilled vegetables drizzled with, mixed nuts, and you got the toppings of the yogurt on top of there. It's like, gosh, you did that in the woods? Yeah, I did that in the woods. What do you think, I am, an asshole? And shortly after that, you're probably going to need to take a crazy crap. So shout out to all the outhouses out there. And if you don't have an outhouse, you're shitting in the woods, bro. Back to regularly scheduled programming. We have some product to shoot. And during this time, I feel like I can tell you about this giveaway I got going. All right, so we had so much fun cooking with these instant grills that we decided that we're going to give 2 away. 1 to you and 1 to your friend if you're the winner. All you have to do is be following both myself and the beautiful Bostonian, who will be tagged in this video. And what you'll be doing is tag your friend and let them know what you plan on cooking for that friend. And I'll be picking who I think is actually telling the truth, and I'm going to then gift you guys with the grills. It would be nice to see you guys actually cook something. So I hope with those comments that you have intent to get the cook on. And then, yeah, that whole thing you just watched was me sending Jazzy for a run. She thought that I was going to keep shooting, and I actually just started packing it up. And since she's been such a great sport, no complaining and maintaining in these woods, I'll do dinner tonight. And we're going to stick with the same theme of using Beyond Meat sausage, and we're going to do some sausage and pasta with some sauce that we're going to tweak on our own accord, because the sauce that comes in a jar or that comes in a can usually tastes like it came out of an ass. I don't know what that tastes like, but you can only imagine. Anyway, we're going to cut these sausages down, and we're going to season the sauce the way we want to season it, and we're going to also add a bunch more ingredients, a bunch of vegetables, one of our secret ingredients that you'll see in a second, to kind of make it more of a full, robust, and chunky sauce. As we got the grill going there, the open flame we're actually going to use because we want to boil that water so we can throw the pasta right in there. And I'm also going to throw these vegetables straight on the cast iron skillet that we used for breakfast this morning, because I know all the seasoning and all the flavors from this morning are still there, and it's going to have these vegetables tasting even that much more good. So why not, right? And also, that's what cast iron skillets are for, to keep that flavor alive. So yeah, we got that going, and then I wanted to start chopping down a bunch of the peppers and the onions, as well as the secret ingredient, which just so happened to be some pineapple that we had. We're going to add that to the sauce because we want to make sure this pasta sauce has like a very robust flavor, and it's not just something that tastes like a bottle or tastes like it has that after can effect. So that's what we're working on right now, as you can see. There's a lot of mad science going on. But what's a kitchen without science, right? Shouts out to my sous chef, getting things done twice as fast and half the time because we had twice as many hands. Once we had all our veggies and fruit chopped down, we made sure the sauce was pre-mixed with our seasoning, and then we transferred over these veggies because we wanted to get those started first before we added any of the sauce to the mix. So we checking in on our pots and pans, making sure everything is good, and add the veggies to it. The cast iron skillet is doing well, so we kind of had to just shift everything over and transfer some heat because we want to cook everything all at once. The water was boiling pretty fine at that point, so we decided to add the pasta now, which will probably take you about 15 minutes or so. So try to get it hot as quickly as possible before starting anything else because everything else cooks pretty quickly. It's the pasta that you kind of have to wait for. So monitor your time wisely, especially using these one-time use grills because you only got about 2 hours on these things before they go out. Yeah, so once we added our pasta sauce, we realized that we needed to level things out, and Jazzy came up with this cool idea which worked perfectly and it leveled everything. So I ended up having to wash my spatula to get back into it and monitor this simmer situation we got going, basically to make sure that no coyotes or bears would get to it. Just kidding, but seriously though. And also checking in on the spaghetti because you don't want it to stick together. You want to make sure that it's all getting cooked thoroughly. So mixing that throughout would help a lot. And keep an eye on your cast iron skillet because you don't want those veggies to turn to mush. And let me introduce you to my second sous chef. Her name is Elsie. Elsie actually lives on the property with her dad, who is the owner of the yurt, and she's such a good sport. She decided that she'd be down to help me out with this episode and, help us with the garlic bread. So now you can see Elsie is adding the olive oil as well as some of the herbs and garlic seasoning, so that way we can get it ready for the grill. Now, ideally, we would have like a minced garlic or something situated for this, but we didn't. But we're going to make it work regardless because the struggle is meal. And when you're hungry, you're going to make it work, vegan or not. As you can see, the sausages are just about ready to be added to the sauce. And I started to transfer them over into the frying pan when I realized that we could definitely use a little bit more water to kind of stretch the sauce a bit. I know that right now it's a lot thick and sure it's going to taste super great, but we can get a lot more sauce out of it. So that's when we all came to the conclusion that a bit more water would be nice. So I had one of my sous chefs head over and grab a cup of that water and add it. And then my second sous chef looks at me and goes, I think we could use a little bit more water. And I agreed. So that's what we did. Thank you, Elsie. Thank you, Jazzy. Alrighty, now that we got that situated, we're gonna let it simmer down for another 5 or 10 minutes while we get the bread situated. So first you're gonna lay down some foil because we learned from breakfast that that's probably the best thing you could do for your bread. And we're gonna make sure to monitor the situation because if you want the kids to take part, you don't want them to do this alone. So they'll slap the bread on and we'll just be sure to watch that because it will cook rather quickly, as you can see. So just keep sure to flip them and make sure that you're not just walking away from it. This is not a toaster we're dealing with. This is some high heat shit. Kind of has a ring to it. I think I'm going to pin that. I'm going to put a pin in that. All right, so use this time wisely while you're checking in on your bread and finishing off your sauce that your sous chefs are starting to plate things because it's time to bring it over. And once you get your sauce there, you should already have your pasta laid out in plates because you're about to dress the fuck out of it. Like this. Look at that. You got yourself some quote-unquote homemade pasta with some Beyond Meat sausage, some spaghetti boiled over a grill, some fresh spinach drizzled with olive oil and some nice little herbs and garlic seasoning because that's all we had at the moment, but still tastes amazing. And your herbs and garlic toasted bread. Throw your hands in the air because your belly is happy. And if I could give anybody some advice today, it would be to get out more, get outside when you can and disconnect, meet some new people, connect with the real world, connect with nature. That's where everything started from. We all came from the earth, so why not explore it more, Enjoy this recipe, enjoy this video. I hope you had a good time, and thanks Jazzy and thank you to Elsie. You guys were both awesome. Hope to see what comes from this video, guys. And as always, you're welcome, motherfuckers. Peace. See you next season.